What's up, guys? I'm going to take a little cruise in the 911 GT3 and talk about a topic that gets brought up every few days or every day on different sim racing forums. What wheel do I start with? Big question, right? Every new sim racer wants to know. Should I start with a G29, a G920, a T150, or a T300? We got options, right? We can start where, within a budget, within the right budget, we can start just about anywhere. And of course, the most enticing of them being the Logitech G Series, because you can buy a G Series on a budget. You can find them secondhand all over the place. And maybe you could get your sim rig, you could get everything built and spend the same as you would on just a wheel. So why not start with the Logitech, right? And a lot of people on the forums generally recommend that. I am going to tell you out the gate, I am not one of those people. As somebody who recently experienced getting into sim racing, I've actually done that twice now. For a short couple months, I got into sim racing. I built a full rig and was playing games on the PS4. And I had certain things that I wanted out of it that I couldn't get from the PS4. I wanted to, first of all, have a handbrake, triple screens, which clearly, as you see, I haven't gotten triple screens yet. I wanted to be able to play the games that people were playing on the computer that were more competitive and more realistic. I wanted options. So I decided after a short time to sell the first race rig for the PS4 with the intent of buying another one. Well, that didn't happen for a few years. So here I am 3 or 4 years later, finally getting into sim racing the way I wanted to. I bought a PC, bought a monitor, and I bought a rig, and I bought the G920 race wheel, which, like I said, is a good budget. I needed to start with the whole setup, and because I've been driving a car that I enjoy and have felt some good feedback from my actual car, everything just felt clunky and messy when I got the G920. So I couldn't help the urge to upgrade. After a couple weeks, I bought the TSXW, which you see me driving with right now. This is a belt-driven Thrustmaster, just like all Thrustmaster wheels. And the difference in smoothness in my driving was quite significant. What I couldn't get over is the pedals that came with it, the T3PA pedals that Thrustmaster makes, were just so spongy, and I honestly felt like it didn't complement the wheel and what I was feeling from the wheel. So let me just stop here for a second and share with you. After about a week of the T3PAs, I got these TLCM pedals, which are enabled with Hall sensors on the gas and the clutch and a load cell in the brake, making a much more accurate, longevitous pedal for the clutch and the brake. And the load cell pedal, it feels much more like a real car. It's pressure sensitive, and it makes a huge difference in consistency. So with that being said, what wheel for starters? If you're on a budget, a Logitech wheel might be the best thing for you. Whatever gets you into sim racing is a good option. If you can find a used or stretch your funds a little bit to get into a Thrustmaster wheel with belt driven, they're all belt driven. A Thrustmaster wheel with a decent set of pedals or with the plan of upgrading your pedals later, you are less likely to feel the need to upgrade right away, and you have a chance at only spending money once for a little while. So, comparing the two. Thrustmaster, belt-driven, smoother wheel with a decent upgrade for pedals. Logitech is a gear-driven wheel with a bit more clunky, messy steering in it and a much smaller wheel. This is a 1-to-1 wheel. So it doesn't feel as natural. Your hands are kind of in tight. It feels more like a toy. The shifter that comes with it is kind of toy, or that you can get for it. The driving force shifter is kind of toy-like. And the pedals, while better than the T3 PA in my opinion, aren't right either and don't supply any real consistency that I looked for. So, in recommending a wheel, I'm going to say, in my experience, if you can get a belt-driven wheel, which the T150, even if you start with the two pedals, or the T300, one of them starts with the two pedals, or maybe they both do. Maybe it's the T150 Pro that has the three pedals. Regardless of what your pedal set is, plan to upgrade if you're going with Thrustmaster, and you will find a lot more consistency with it. I know a lot of people out of the gate will tell you Logitech's a great starter wheel, but they don't explain why it's not or the cons of it. They just say, yeah, go with that one. Some people do actually go into detail on it. I just wanted to share my experience with you as somebody who went through this recently. If you can get a belt-driven wheel, get a belt-driven wheel. If you have the means to go to the higher-end belt-driven wheel or a direct drive wheel, then, and you know you're going to be committed. I understand that's the other factor. You don't know if you're going to be committed to sim racing. You want to try it out, or you kind of want to dip your toes in the water. I get it. I was the same way. I dipped my toes in twice, and the second time I wanted to go swimming. So here I am. I'm going swimming, and we're going to keep upgrading. If you feel like there's a chance you want to go swimming, you got to put on the right shorts. That's all I'm going to tell you guys. So I am happy, as some of you know, to further the conversation through the comments and talk about whatever concerns you may have while choosing your wheel. But from a beginner perspective, I feel there's a lot more consistency. I know what to expect from my wheel, and I did not get that from my Logitech. Oh, that's another thing, actually. That spin out, though it was not caught, I found it absolutely impossible to catch a spin with the Logitech wheel. It can be, like I said, people race with it. There are people that are successful, they get used to it. But as a beginner, I've caught a lot of spins with this wheel. I didn't catch that one, but I've caught a lot. I couldn't do that with the Logitech. I couldn't feel the car. Like there, I knew I was spinning, and part of that might be because I'm driving with shoes on. I've actually never done sim racing with shoes on. I don't know why I'm doing it in this video, but that could be part of why I'm not handling the car well. The other part could be I haven't driven with this car. But anyways, if you guys have watched some of the other videos I have, I did compare the Thrustmaster to the Logitech, but I just wanted, though I compared it, I know it also isn't the bottom level or the mid-level Thrustmasters. The only difference that I can see between a T150, a T300, and this is I do have a higher force feedback. But from a belt-driven standpoint, I also forgot about the TMX. That's another option for Thrustmaster. But from a belt-driven standpoint, there we go. That was a good catch because I felt the car moving. It's smoother. It's cleaner. It's more enjoyable. I got into the GT3 series in the 488 this week. Practiced for a little bit and can actually successfully compete because of the consistency, and I will give 99% of that to having a good wheel and pedals that provide me with some consistency in my racing. That being said, before we end this video, I'm going to cross this finish line and we'll see with a good push. I haven't been following a race line. I've just been cruising around. Just like I said, I wanted you guys to have something to watch other than my pretty face the whole time. So hopefully you enjoy watching the car go around the track a little bit, even though I know you could be doing this on your own right now. But let's give it a push. Oh my goodness, the brakes on this car does not belong on this track. I should have just stayed in the Ferrari. It's funny because it glides through the corners wonderfully, but then when I need to really stop, I'm used to being able to apply a lot of pressure and apply it quickly, and it just does not stop that quickly. There was another spin that the wheel let me know I was about to have. Go. Minute and 29, first push I made on the track. So yeah, that was just kind of for fun, but huge difference that the wheels made. Stay within your budget. If you get into sim racing one way or another, you're gonna enjoy it. How much you're gonna enjoy it and how much you want to spend on it is completely up to you. I've given you guys my perspective on it. I hope that in some form or another it helps to guide a decision for you. If not, then I am sorry that I have wasted 13 minutes and 30 seconds of your time so far. Feel free to leave me comments. Let me know if I've helped you make a decision, if you agree with it. I definitely appreciate those with more experience. They help to guide others as well. That if you disagree with me, please put it in the comments. Anybody with experience helps the community of racing. Like I said in the beginning, I'm not the #1 authority on what you should and shouldn't buy. I will never claim to be that because it all comes down to perspective. But taking input from others is how I've gotten what I've gotten so far and how I've had success in iRacing to the point that I am finishing races in getting through the track successfully, safely, building my iRating. The community has helped me get where I'm at, and I will continue to support the community by making these videos and sharing my beginner experiences. So I appreciate any feedback I can get. If you guys haven't already done so, feel free to like the channel or to subscribe to the channel, like the video. Continue to support me supporting everybody else. And until next time, you guys have a good one.